there, you argue like shades of gray. It's like, no, there's only pure evil. And it's like, I don't even remotely understand how to tackle that argument because it's so detached from reality and how people think and operate. I could literally make the argument that Hitler isn't pure evil when he's doing art. I mean, what argument are you making?
Yeah, that's a Vosh level thing right there. I'm not going to touch that.
Like, that's the thing. Even Bob, who's like the epitome of like a good person, right? Still fucks my mom every night and makes me watch. Like, there's evil in everyone.
And I'm generally a pretty good person too, but I fuck his mom and his dad, and that's like, what am I doing that for? Why? And I make him watch sometimes. That's what am I? Yeah. What's wrong with me?
And he stares at me the whole time. It's just
eye contact is required.
He's giving my dad back shots, and he's just like smiling at me. It's kind of weird.
Spider Cop. So this is my headcanon now. This is Spider Cop now for me on.
Why does he have handcuffs?
It's
like the one thing you would not need,
right?
I mean, he has webs. Like,
what is he gonna do with one singular pair of handcuffs?
I guess if he runs out of webs, that does happen sometimes. I'm not trying to defend Spider Cop or anything, but like,
wait, is that a whistle? Is that a whistle on his belt? I think that's a whistle.
Like
Are those he keys? Can't blow the whistle. Also, where's his
he
body
can lift
cam?
up his mask a little bit.
Is illegal. And so when anytime someone tells me that like I said, with the exception of maybe like on or have Spider Pig, but I love that. I love.
Fuck these guys. That's what I say. Hawk tour,
Hawk tour.
This
spit on that thing.
Hawk tour and spit on that thing. You get me?
I'm flattered. The end of the world, and you want to spend it with me? I didn't know you cared.
I care, Joker. About Gotham. About justice. And if it has to end, at least I go out like this, being Batman.
We're really not affiliated. We're really not affiliated. Tarzan Gamer, Tarzan. I really just want to make that. I just want to make that. I also want to just say.
The last thing you want is a cute thumbnail.
Whoa? Question mark?
Oh no, they become grifters.
It's a big red circle around the place.
Woo! Whoa. Short one. Got that short one. I'm the short one, but I think Bob's actually taller than me, probably much taller than me. We should find out. Bob?
What?
What's your vertical situation, sir?
I am 5'11".
Yep. That's it. That'll do it.
That'll
do it.
I'm taller than average, but I'm not like huge or anything.
For anybody not aware of that, the Batman animated series clip was actually apparently officially this time, because I've heard this a couple of different times now, but apparently that's actually the final appearance, or of not appearance, but I mean of Kevin Conroy as Batman. So.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that. Like, what is it from?
That was Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earth Part 3.
Okay. Yeah, I heard that he had one final performance left, which is
Pretty
very
good.
cool.
Pretty cool line to go out on, as Batman and Kevin Conroy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bob. I mean, you're not built like a brick, though, right?
Yeah.
This Bob is apparently. So
I mean, I don't like to be built like a brick because I like to date dimes, and it just, I mean, bricks and dimes. It just no.
Yeah. So it's just gonna be the two of us today, unless somebody else decides to hop on. Turf is he's out of the initiative. He's out. Finally, that burrito thing finally came around. I got, it took some while. The bureaucracy back here in the red tape in the HR department of the initiative was difficult to get through, but I got him out of here. I got that fucker out.
I mean, you've been really working with me, but I'm much tougher to get rid of.
Now Turf's on vacation number 17 of the year, or whatever, of course. So, happy for him. I'm fucking happy for you, Turf Nation, that you're not in fucking America.
It must be nice to live in not America, where I'm just happy to get 3 weeks off a year, and dreading the fact that soon we might live in a dictatorship, but we're not there yet, which is why it's important November to go out, vote. Make your voices heard in November.
What if indeed, man? What if indeed? I actually feel like that there are some characteristics of each of us that would balance the other out a little bit, and probably like in a beneficial way. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I've never thought about it.
Disgusting fucking, I don't know, disgusting creature that just was like a head where the ass should be or something. And
yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, what's going on with the greatest band in the world?
Greatest band in the world?
Yeah, Tenacious D.
I mean, I don't know if they're the greatest band in the world. They definitely wrote the greatest song in the world.
Well, they are the greatest. Have you ever heard them before? Because they clearly state a few times that they are the greatest band the world has ever seen.
Do? Oh, well, then so, I mean, I can't argue that, because if they say it, then it must be true.
Yep. Earth, Wind, and Fire. What? No. Yeah, I don't know, man. What do you want to talk about first? It's a loosely organized stream, as in like not really organized at all. We just kind of have some ideas of like, well, maybe we can talk about this. I don't know. You know what? Since I did put the most effort into this aspect of it, I'll bring up this thing I made. This whole graphic.
Ooh.
Because I've been thinking a lot about this stuff lately, man. And we're not doing conspiracy shit. We're not making any claims with certainty of anything, but like, there are some things that are obvious and known to be true about the anti-fandom network, right? Like these people and how they are connected in various ways. Like there are some things that are just fact. You know what I'm saying? And from there we can extrapolate some stuff, potential stuff. We can speculate on some things, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's one of those things. It's like, do we have hard evidence? No, but it's one of those things where you just look at it and it's like, there's shit there.
Well, I mean, there's some hard evidence of like, that's why you see blazes there right there on the surface, because that's clearly that is the fact that there's a connection with a couple of different ways into that in the blaze. And then InfoWars, we're fairly certain there's a connection. I mean, it seems pretty clear there is. And then, I don't know why I threw Ike Perlmutter on there. I don't even know if he's in. He represents billionaires.
Ike Perlmutter just sucks, okay?
But then there's Donors Trust, which is definitely that's like they are one of the I guess the organizations that came up after Citizens United, where You know, they're the money from various entities is funneled through them, so that then they pay into super PACs and pay out to different propaganda campaigns and stuff like that. And they're one of the main ones. And you can't help like wonder if somebody like that's involved with this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, I can't anyway. It's yeah.
Yeah,
You could talk out comic chuds hate as usual for Mark Wade.
Is there a
Who
new
cares?
thing they're going after Mark Wade for?
Oh, probably the same thing that you know, like that's what they're fucking they're doing right now. That's their tactic, is like anybody that what was it? I think I saw a clip of MSNBC was asking the Trump sons were at the RNC, you know, kind of MSNBC guy was, of course, they're going to be hostile to them no matter what. But like, he was asking them some questions about unrelated to anything about, you know, the pew pew incident the other day. And he's like, I don't remember what it was, but it's something just pretty obvious, honestly, basic ass journalism question they asked him. And then Don Jr. just gets all indignant and he's like, oh, it's not even been 3 full days and you're already doing this. And it's just like, oh, they actually think that bought them some immunity, right? Like,
Yeah.
they don't have to fucking be accountable. I mean, they never thought they had to be accountable at all, but this is just their new shield.
Yeah. God damn it.
Yeah, it's weird.
He was just shot at. It's like, you know, some glass hit his ear. I think he'll be fine. How about the dude who was his supporter that isn't doing quite so well? Yeah.
Yeah, you know, they're kind of desperate. Did you hear about that? Look, guys, here's the thing. We're probably going to be doing more politics posting between now and November. I don't think we can in good conscience avoid it. But also, as we've stated and displayed many times, the shit's related. So
it's all related. Holy shit.
So what did Mark Wade say? Anybody? We didn't do any prep for the stream, so you know.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, like, I don't know anything about Mark Wade. I will say, like, I thought Absolute Power won. I'll go over it tomorrow live on my stream, but like, I thought overall it was pretty good. It does make a very questionable choice that is very spoilery that I don't want to go into.
I thought it was actually very good.
Though. Yeah,
as far as like a DC event goes, that was one of the more, you know, it did a good job establishing the dread, much in the same way that the Blood Hunt did, #1.
Yeah, a couple months ago. Yeah,
both of those did a great job of just like, all right, we're gonna be serious here, because it does kind of make you're just like, I wish I knew what you were considering a spoiler, because I don't want to say.
Oh, it's
the fact that
I guess, does anybody care if we go into spoilers on Absolute Power? I guess spoiler warning on Absolute Power. I was thinking about Green Arrow.
Oh, that is a choice, and I was like,
yeah,
is he playing something? You know,
yeah. It could be something with him and Batman, kind of like being like, okay, we need somebody on the inside with Amanda Waller.
Yeah.
That's why I'm suspect this point, because otherwise it doesn't feel right for his character at all.
What has been going on with him in the comics prior to this? Because I don't know. Like, was there anything that possibly could have precipitated this? Something that happened, and I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't been reading Green Arrow, so I'm not on top of that. But yeah, that was the thing that threw me off. Now, like, I guess the other things would be spoilers, but I guess it's kind of ambiguous, is the fact that we don't know what's up with like the two Supermen and Superboy right now. They got seriously fucked up though.
Yeah, seeing Superman kind of he got hit by a bullet and was bleeding. It's like, okay, it's not the first time he's lost his powers, but he was also flying at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So that was just kind of like, what?
And then his son, the other Superman, caught him, and then he gets hit with the same thing, and they just crash. And it's like, oh shit.
Yeah. Well, you know, one thing is for sure, at least maybe Batman will finally be, they'll forget about the time that he essentially allowed the villains to, neutralize the Justice League, because he had all these files on them and shit. And they were pretty pissed about that. So, but I mean, now that Waller's done it,
I
like
thought they were cool with it. That was Grant
cool?
Morrison. It's a different time.
I'm just saying, like, now that Waller seems to have done it more efficiently. Yeah. You know.
No, like
And
her plan's very efficient, man. Holy crap.
I do like that they incorporated failsafe into it. Because I was reading the Chip Zdarsky run on Batman with failsafe being a thing, and honestly didn't expect failsafe to become such a ongoing issue, but like I guess it's kind of cool. It makes sense.
Yeah, it also like I got the indication that the Sovereign is working with Waller as well. I mean, Sergeant Seal is there, and they've been pretty much the big villains that Wonder Woman's been dealing with for this recent run. So yeah, got some power players taking out some major superheroes.
I mean, yeah, it could be a long game, a long con to finally like just neutralize Waller. You know what I mean? Like this is clearly her big grand plan. And if he's able to get in and fucking undermine that and then prove that she's done some shady business, then you know, maybe you don't have to worry about Waller for a while, forever.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. Maybe just because he's been getting blackmailed by Waller, they thought maybe they could. Him and Batman kind of thought, hey, maybe we could use Green Arrow to like, hey, you know what, Waller's right.
Yeah, really probably pissed him off to be blackmailed that way, right? All right. Well, I'm sure it's going to be worth reading to some degree. I mean, I definitely like the first issue. The art is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a solid book.
By the way, have you been keeping up with Blood Hunt?
I have the main series, some of the tie-ins, not so much, but yeah, the main series, yeah.
I've a couple of those tie-ins I've kept, like Wolverine has been pretty good.
Yeah, Tom Waltz is a good one. So
yeah, then the main title is actually pretty damn good too.
Yeah, I go back and forth on it. Like I love the first issue, and then I haven't liked it as much since then. And I was assuming there'd be a low point for the heroes, and apparently the low point was just the first issue. It's like, oh, they're picking it up from there. Okay, cool guys. I don't know. It definitely has stuff that I really enjoy though, and the first issue was a banger.
I mean, I like that Black Panther was not actually being he was healing himself the whole time, right? Oh, now I'm seeing the Mark Waid stuff.
Oh, what do you find?
Blurred Without Fear. This is great. It's I'm gonna go ahead and download this here meme so I can show. No, you know what? I'll just show the tweet thread. So, Blurred said, since Mark Waid is trending, I see many people spreading cap about how bad a writer he is. I'm gonna leave this, and then, dude, like,
yeah,
you don't know. I guarantee that most people that have fucking read Mark Waid, they know they're lying, but most people that say they're saying this shit probably have never read Mark Waid. Like he's not the most amazing writer, but I mean, like sometimes he is. He's just generally dependable as writing some above average shit.
I was just gonna say, listen, there are the people who bash Mark Waid's writing probably think this is great. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, he's a GOAT, industry vet. I mean, he's launched. There's a reason why they brought him on to DC right now. There's a reason why he. If you've never read Irredeemable or Incorruptible or whatever it is, those two kind of twin books, I recommend it. Those are his kind of creator-owned things that he did, years ago. But Irredeemable is about a Superman type character who just kind of goes nuts one day after some stuff happens, and he becomes a completely fucking evil villain and just keeps the world in terror for years. And he's like, it's basically like if you know, if not Homelander, because he's much more powerful than that. It's more like if Omni-Man, just you know, was like actually patrolling the Earth and called it, you know, killing anybody that says anything and killing all the heroes and so on and so forth. And then, but at the same time, there's another title called Incorruptible, which is about one of his nemesis, who basically, whenever he realizes, like, he's always been a bad guy, one of the bad, you know, his enemies or whatever. But then whenever the other guy becomes a villain, he like kind of has this awakening moment of like, holy shit, this is fucking real shit. This is terrible. And he kind of he sets about to become a good guy. And like, you know, it's pretty cool.
When was this done? Because this actually sounds a lot like Megamind.
It was before Megamind. It was before Megamind.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Megamind ripped him off. Okay.
Kind of sounds like, yeah, it kind of seems that way. Yeah, he knows these universes. He knows the core of characters. That's the thing that I would say is his strongest suit, is he just knows how to, you know, whatever character he writes, he gets it, right? It may not be the most amazing take on a character, but he's going to get to the fucking core of it, and he's going to, you know, do it justice, right?
I've been more or less keeping up with World's Finest, and that's a fun series. And you have to admit, the I guess the last issue I read, which is I guess 2 issues back now, the choosing of Earth's ultimate protector as Jimmy Olsen was pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah, look at all these people. Like, who the fuck is this? Oh, that's Screwface. What's up, man? There you are. Yeah. Oof. Yeah. It's almost like that goddamn freak show of an RNC that they had just a couple of days later overshadowed the pew pew attempt. Right. So, yeah. What are we doing here? What's going on?
I mean, we brought up RNC. I guess we can bring up. I don't know about you guys, but I've been noticing lots more celebrities have been getting very vocal about this election.
Yeah.
Couple of examples I want to bring up, and yeah, no, there's another example we'll definitely bring up, but Mira Sorvino was a really big actress in the 90s. She played the wife most recently in Sound of Freedom, and she decided to do a big Twitter thread recently, essentially saying "fuck Trump" to summarize it.
How dare she?
Yeah.
Doesn't she know that he just got a piece of glass hit his ear from his teleprompter the other day?
Oh no!
I mean, he took a bullet. You know.
Yeah. I mean, that's the take I hear from Blair White. It's, you know, he took a bullet for us. And it's like, if he wins, you're not allowed to exist. I don't know what you're talking about. Here's one that was making the rounds. So this was just literally the press tour for Beverly Hills Cop. I think I have audio on. Yeah, I should.
Mick, nobody cares what you hear, man. That's just bullshit Comicsgate crap that you're repeating, you're regurgitating. Nobody cares what you hear. It's just stop doing that, man. I hate that you fucking do that.
Anyways, here's part of the Beverly Hills Cop 4 press tour that just happened and was recorded. If you guys haven't seen Beverly Hills Cop 4, it's decent. It's the best of the sequels, in my opinion. Nowhere near as good as the
better than
original,
2?
but it was fun. Yeah.
No.
I'm not a huge fan of 2. Like, 2 is not terrible, but I'm not a fan, really. It feels like the first one, but overblown.
What real-life crimes or mysteries have you been fascinated by?
The Jinx, that was like crazy. The staircase, those are the only 2 I can think of.
I'm gonna just go for it right now. Are you ready to go with me?
Yeah.
How about when the former president called up an election official in Georgia and said, you need to change the votes 11,000 so that I can win? And I'm the president and you need to do this.
That's a real life crime.
That is a real life crime.
Yeah.
Come at me. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I know. I know you're pissed, but let's just talk about the fact that the former president is a full-on criminal. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or so I'm assuming that they did not come at him.
I don't know. I mean, probably he had some sort of backlash from the chuds, but yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Joseph Gordon, said it, right?
Yeah, how dare he? And I saw a lot of the reaction to this was people like pointing out that Kevin Bacon kind of backed down pretty quickly. And it's like, come on, dude.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin Bacon is not the kind of guy I would expect to necessarily, he's had a long career, and that's probably in part because he doesn't go too hard on these types of points, right?
Probably, but
Probably.
eh.
So I have let's just do this. Let's look at this this terrible thing that happened. Apparently, worse than any time that like Marilyn Manson wiped his butt with a Bible or anything like that. At the time that Ozzy,
Or I mean, Marilyn Manson apparently, doing the exploiting people for
No,
I don't know how far we want to get into it, but Marilyn Manson's kind of a piece of shit. Like I enjoy his music a lot. But
I was trying to say that anything on stage, not like that. It's definitely not worse than that. This is actually not even bad. I was being sarcastic. So this is a clip from Tenacious D. If you're not familiar, what the fuck is going on in your life that you don't appreciate Tenacious D? Nonetheless, this is a clip from their show, I guess, the other day, post Pew Pew event. And I guess Kyle Gass, he's the guitarist and, backup vocalist and stuff of the duo. The other guy being a guy named Jack White? No, Black. Anyway,
I think I've heard of him.
Kyle said something that just apparently is, I don't know, the worst thing that anybody's ever said, I guess.
True.
Don't miss Trump next time. Thank you.
And now nobody's really noticed that. That's kind of just gone under the radar. Nobody's got
I can't believe nobody's noticed that. That's oh my god.
Mick, because the reason you get put on the spot like that, man, is because I don't like misinformation. And that's definitely just something that I've only seen from Comicsgate types folks, and it's used that type of narrative whenever just repeated without any kind of, you don't even know, you just heard it somewhere. Like it's just, be better than that, man. That's why. Anyway, there's that, and then apparently it's actually really gotten a lot of people pissed off, I suppose. Like this guy who, So here we go. And this is the fallout, right? Jack Black has canceled Tenacious D's tour and all future creative plans amid blowback over Kyle Gass's remark on the Trump Pew Pew attempt. Gass stated on stage during the concert, "Don't miss Trump next time." Jack's statement: "I was blindsided by what was said at the show on Sunday. I would never condone hate speech or encourage political violence in any form. After much reflection, I no longer feel it is appropriate to continue the Tenacious D tour, and all future creative plans are on hold. I am grateful to the fans for their support and understanding," which is, that's
a take.
It's a choice, I suppose.
Yeah. And I mean, if you follow my Twitter, I already post on this because it's like, there's something going on. I feel we're not seeing because it feels like an overreaction. I think it'd be reasonable for Kyle to just come out and say, "Hey, I don't endorse political violence."
Yeah.
I was just telling a joke. I don't endorse it. I apologize if that's the impression you got, but I don't endorse it. And then move on.
The unfortunate thing is that Jack Black is obviously Jack Black. He's known outside of, better known outside of Tenacious D for other things. He is a known name, celebrity, household name, pretty much, I think. And Kyle Gass is not. And so maybe, like, if we're going to take this at face value and think that all of this is just like this is his real reaction, we could possibly say that Jack actually does feel like Kyle fucking put his career, which is more substantial than Kyle's, like at risk. And that could be, I guess, valid between, I don't know, man. It's just,
I don't know.
But then
the thing to also keep in mind is that Jack Black has also done speeches for Biden.
Right. I have one of those as well.
Yeah. So it's
but
not like he's politics free.
But there's a difference between endorsing a candidate and endorsing a candidate being pew-pewed.
Yeah.
However, I don't. Here's my take.
Yeah.
I don't think that what Kyle said is really inherently bad. And this, I know this might not be popular because I've got the same. It's the same take that I have of like when somebody's like, "Don't wish deaths on somebody," and it's like, look, if I thought that my wishes could actually accomplish that, I probably would be pretty responsible with saying that. But because it's just a thing I'm saying, I don't understand, other than just it makes you feel uncomfortable, why it's so bad for me to say something like that, right? It's, especially whenever I don't say it a lot, but I have said it a couple times about a couple of specific people. And, they're kind of shitbags. And I think it would actually make the world a better place. And that's, why I've said something like that. But in this case, it's like, what is him saying that going to make the potential next pew pew guy have better aim? Like what actual effect does it have? I mean, I guess you could say
it's a good question.
You could say that it contributes to somebody thinking that it's a good idea to try again or something like that. But I mean, I don't think that this is that when the more you learn about this guy, the Crooks guy that did it, he just wasn't well. It seems like he was a kind of loner, isolated kind of thing.
Yeah,
Republican. But and
he
I don't
seem
imagine
like the type of guy who would go to a Tenacious D concert.
Right. And it just doesn't make any sense that yeah, I don't know. I personally told Bob before the show that I kind of suspect that this is just a bit of a damage control so that people will just kind of move on from it. Tenacious D has been a band for like fucking 30 years. They've been together.
Yeah.
They've been best friends and shit and doing this stuff. And like, Jack could have left that behind whenever he got big with his acting career, and he didn't. He instead chose to use his acting career to bring up Tenacious D.
Yeah.
And I just don't see this as being the thing that's going to be like, oh, that's it, Kyle. You've done this, and now it's too far. And like,
yeah. I can't believe you'd say that about Trump, Kyle. I love Trump. It's like, no, that's not what's happening. Yeah, there's something we're not seeing. I mean, now maybe I don't know. Maybe he just wanted a break. Who knows? Maybe.
I mean, there is more important stuff to focus on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing except a different person, sure. And I don't think that statement is any more harmful than the other one. I mean, I might be like, man, that's a fucking shitty thing to say, but like, would I expect anybody to fucking cancel their career, their career essentially, because they said it? No, not really. Like I said yesterday too. Oh shit, what the hell? What is this? Who's this guy?
Yeah. What?
Just snuck up in here. Snuck
I can't
on
stay
in.
long, but I stopped in. I had a moment between games.
Hey.
So
what's your take on this?
So there is comedy can go too far then, right? That's
I
the
guess so.
here we have here. So that's my thing is we've been saying for years that sometimes jokes cross a line. And we're always told, oh, no. Comedy is sacred. Like you can't tell comedians they can't do things because that's free speech. And comedy is sacred.
This guy replied to that in all caps too, so he's serious. He said, "They all laughed. Jack Black laughed. They are liars and traitors." And I'd responded with cancel culture. Comedy is comedy. It's just words, snowflake, etc., etc.
I don't have much of an opinion on it simply because like we're in a situation now where stuff that we've been saying for years, they're trying to use that against us. And it's like you fought back against us when we said some comedians crossed the line. And matter of fact, Bob had a whole debate with someone that talked about that. and Ed had a debate with someone that talked about that. So I guess there is
frustrating
comedy.
debate. Yes.
yeah. But I mean, like, that's my point is I have reached this is like, I've slowed down a little bit on the content on my channel. I have been busy, but my issue is after all of this stuff happened with Dr. Disrespect and the way people responded to that, we've reached an era with these guys where hypocrisy is just an everyday thing for them. It's just, it doesn't matter. They literally want you to believe whatever it is they believe. They want to confirm their biases within their echo chamber. It doesn't matter if they're liars. It doesn't matter if they're hypocrites. People are not going to call them out on it. So the issue is, go ahead.
I just want to ask Loud as Fuzz something because, okay, that's you believe that their you know words have consequences and there should be punishment, I guess. For one thing, look, okay, here's the thing. So, do you think Loud as Fuzz that if somebody's like using a slur for a gay person or a black person or a trans person on social media that they should like have their account suspended or even just kind of expunged?
Their
Like,
answer is going to be no.
what's
I mean,
there should be punishment, right? You agree
No,
with that?
their answer is going to be no because they'll come up with some like goalpost on that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Loud as Fuzz changed their thumbnail or their icon. I almost didn't recognize
They
it.
did. I wonder why.
Their emo version.
Loud as Fuzz. I have a question for you. Do you think it is fair to criticize Dave Chappelle for using his giant fucking platform to spread transphobia?
You're right. Context matters, and just as much as there's I would say there's probably more likely to be real tangible harm to like let's say trans people with Dave Chappelle saying the shit he says than there is of what Kyle said. I'm willing to, yeah, I'd say that's probably true because it actually directly, yeah.
I mean, if we want to look at the shooter, he's registered Republican. They like to gloss over that fact.
Yeah. Oh, you can't tell me that if they wouldn't have done this, that they wouldn't have been just like hounding them to,
Well, I mean, there's a lot of really dumb bullshit videos. So Jack Black didn't say it, but I see video after video with his picture on it because he's the more popular of the two of them, obviously. So they're using that because Jack Black is connected to family entertainment and Tenacious D has kind of gone mainstream. They weren't always mainstream. They've kind of gone mainstream now because of Hit Me Baby One More Time and all of that bullshit. So they're using Jack Black to push that shit. And
I'm a Tenacious D hipster, by the way.
But I mean, like there were people in chats calling them out saying Jack Black did not say this. Kyle Gass said this. So stop saying that Jack Black said it. But that's what the grifters keep pushing that. So that's what it is.
It's dumb. And all the fact is that all this is distraction from what really should be talked about, which is one, Project 2025 as much as possible.
Yes.
And two, Biden's actual accomplishments, because there have been some, and I feel like even the Biden administration, their campaign, they're not doing a great job of that either. But I mean, there's a real stuff to discuss here that's going to matter way more than this for a much longer time and for many more people.
Have you guys noticed that the channels where they're like we shouldn't be doing politics and entertainment are now all of a sudden political channels? Have you noticed that?
Yeah. I mean, it hasn't been sudden, honestly. It's been like I mean, I feel like might be not necessarily true. I don't know, but I feel like that ever since our mission statement, which has been seen upwards of, close to, I think 100,000 times now, across channels, that there's been less of an effort by these guys to hide it. But I mean, it also started before that too, because once Alex Jones was on Friday Night Shite, I think that was just kind of like incremental, taking off of that bullshit, exterior that they had.
Yeah, it's just it's that's why I've kind of been, I don't know what I'm going to be doing because I don't want to debunk them on political videos. I find that to be rather boring. I just do. Like I don't want to watch them watch Ron DeSantis. You know what I mean? Like that's not something I'm interested in.
I think at least for me, the thing that I might try and focus on is just what it is that they're like the thing that they're saying, whatever bullshit it is, and then just like what is it that and then I might mention kind of like what is it that they might be trying to distract from, right?
Right. Well, here, okay, so Loud as Fuzz here, this right here. This is the kind of stuff that is very transparent. And what I mean by that is being absurd over something that is actually dangerous for certain people is a way to use humor to diffuse something by using free speech. Basically, you're saying what you're saying because you can. But there is actual things in Project 2025 that would be harmful to communities that would cause more harm than Tenacious D making a joke like they did on stage. But for some reason, humor around this is okay. You said context matters. So humor around this is okay, but a random joke from a group that has always, or at least Kyle, who's been outwardly anti-Trump for years, somehow that's a problem. Somehow
Jack Black's pretty anti-Trump too. So
Yeah, I think the problem with Jack Black is a little bit too corporate now, a little bit too entertainment. He has to watch himself. And that's unfortunate because he was very vocal for years, and I think he's worried about the fact that he's attached to so many like Disney things and Super Mario and all of that, and it's a shame because of the idea of cancel culture. Like if you're part of the community that believes in free speech, then you should not be asking for something to happen to him. That's just the way it is. I don't care where you fall from. Like, oh, now all of a sudden they're doing it, so we can do it too. No, if you are a free speech person, you should be supporting his free speech. You can say you disagree with it.
I mean, these are the same people that literally, the Dixie Chicks were canceled, right? Like,
No, I mean these people who cry about cancel culture are the ones who cancel people quite a lot. I mean, they are the biggest person cancel mob.
Sorry. You're not a serious person worth taking seriously. You're not going to make any point that that we're going to take seriously because you've just shown nothing but well, first of all, the first time you ever said anything, really, you were showing that you hate women. You think women are just bad or something and weak, or I don't know what it is. It's weird.
I actually like your other avatar, Loud as Fuzz. Go back to the other one. That one was better.
Yeah,
the Pikachu with the goth hairdo. That was funny.
Kirby,
not Pikachu. Yeah, Kirby. Yeah.
Because, like, I mean, imagine me like, oh yeah, they fucking know Project 2025 is not a big deal at all.
I mean, Loud as Fuzz, I could ask you very simply, and it's just a summary of pretty much what DJ just said. What do you think is more harmful, the political goals of Project 2025 towards LGBTQ plus people, or Kyle Gass saying a comment at Tenacious D? Which do you think has more political power?
Bob, but it hurt their feelings. That's the thing. By the way, if you just like porn, if you like jerking off to some porn, which, I think most people probably to some degree appreciate it here and there, to say the least. You're not going to like Project 2025.
Never.
I actually think the outlawing of pornography is an attempt to control women. I think that's what it is, because OnlyFans is so powerful and women are making so much money.
I think, because it's also the LGBT stuff. It's like, they've been saying anything with just queer people is sexual or porn or whatever, Libs of TikTok and all that. Speaking of which, Libs of TikTok right now is on something, man. She is like, they're going after doing the same thing, that's trying to get everybody that says anything mildly, inappropriate in light of the Trump pew pew incident.
Why is it that the conservatives can joke about it, but liberals can't? I've seen that too. Like in a lot of groups, I've seen memes about the Trump situation being made fun of left, right, and all over the place in conservative spaces, and they're okay with that. But the minute a liberal makes a joke about it, then there's some issue, no matter what it is, no matter what the joke is.
Well, I mean, that's interesting that they have a problem with this, because I mean, you guys saw who they had on RNC the other day. Kind of one of the most famous OnlyFans people that's on there, Amber Rose. It's like, man, that RNC is just crazy, because
by the way, Melody Mack is getting roasted right now because of her comments about the RNC. It's hilarious. She talked about I can't remember who it was, but there was a woman on there who isn't Christian who was putting out prayer for the Republican National Convention, whatever it was. I didn't watch the clip, but mainly it was the Amber Rose stuff. But there was two things. It was Amber Rose and it was that, and she was calling it demonic and that they shouldn't support the Republican Party because they're not of Christian values anymore and all this other stuff. And so she's getting roasted by Nina Infinity and some other people. It's pretty funny, actually, to watch them argue with each other. She told Nina, "You don't live in the United States and you're not a Christian, so you can't have an opinion."
Nina doesn't live in the United States?
No, Nina lives in Mexico, I believe.
Oh,
I did not know that.
Well, so check this shit out. So anybody that missed it.
I'm an atheist, so as an atheist, I don't try to convert anyone into atheism. I just mind my fucking business. So if I sit with you all day and I'm like, I'm telling you, God don't exist.
You don't believe in God?
I do not believe in God, no.
I didn't know you didn't believe in God until the day you and I were in my Sprinter. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And we're leaving a party, and Amber's sitting in front of me, and I'm sitting here, and I'm on my phone, and her and somebody that I used to know are talking, and they're talking about God, and it evolved into you're
Well,
not.
he was an atheist too.
No,
Your friend,
no,
no?
he is a God-fearing, Bible-thumping.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, she talks about Satanism is pretty cool and stuff like that in here. This was March of this year, so it's not like it's a old thing. You know, whatever. I mean, look, you have to kind of have. We're going to use you one more time here as a really cringe example, Loudy, because you kind of have to go. It is what it is in order to justify this. That's because there's not a justification for it. If you are a conservative who has all these hardcore beliefs that you hold, either you lead with your values. Your
I mean, could you
values,
imagine there was entertainment in a space with like all families there, and a drag queen shows up? Would that be the response? Oh, I actually find it weird that a drag queen was there, but hey, it is what it is. No, that's not what the response would be.
I mean, I'll be honest. I think part of the porn policies, as well as a lot of the stuff you guys have already mentioned, I think it hits a lot of prongs of their agenda, but I think it also helps build their base, because I feel like a lot of these, frankly, incels are just like guys who are just like pent up and need some sort of release. That honestly, if they watch porn more often, they'd probably get.
Be clear here, they wouldn't be banning porn. They would be banning porn for everybody but them. That's what it would be. They would find ways that they can access porn, but no one else can access porn. Because that's been the problem all along. All of these politicians and people out there who are DL gay, bisexual, pansexual, they want to enact laws against gay people who are openly gay while they secretly go out and have sex with men. So banning of pornography is only for everybody else, not for them.
Do you remember when Ted Cruz shared some porn on Twitter on his official account?
Stepmom porn. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Chad, this is
that was somebody
related
else,
to you, buddy.
right?
What do you got there, Bob?
Oh, I was just going. I just had Project 2025 up, the summary by David Pakman.
Oh yeah, that's just good.
It's disturbing. Yeah.
I mean, it's good in the sense that like I'm very appreciative that he packaged that up like that. They did. DJ, if you're not aware, there's David Pakman has a Project 2025 kind of like summary PDF that I can.
Okay.
I think the link's in the Discord too. But it's really good if you want anything to kind of source on that.
Yeah, I would love to do that. I've actually worked on a couple of videos for this week. I had to take a break though. After what happened this weekend, I didn't even live stream like I was supposed to. I blocked a bunch of words on Twitter. I actually switched from For You to following on Twitter because I wasn't even trying to see any of the other bullshit. It really, I mean, they've kind of turned it into like a monetization machine with what happened. And I'm surprised that it didn't happen faster. I've seen people trying to monetize t-shirts now and YouTube videos after videos. There were people live the night of the rally that never talk about politics. And I was like clicked in and they're getting like $50, $500, $1,000 super chat donations.
Dude,
for what?
Like I was wondering what Eric July was saying, because like it happened in the middle of my stream. So I was like, okay, what the fuck is Eric July saying about this? And he's literally just there reading super chats. And it's like,
yeah, that's it. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd shared a thing that I found in the replies of the same day. There was like a within 24 hours, there was a post about fucking, it was like trading cards, an attempt trading card, right? It's like, oh my god.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. But that's why I also kind of slowed down on content. The channels weren't talking about entertainment; they were talking about politics, and I didn't feel like debunking political videos. So, but I do have a series coming out soon about straight washing queer media. I've been working on that. It's going to be more of a scripted thing. So it's like a deep dive into the history of queer washing and heteronormative behaviors on movies, going all the way back to films like Breakfast at Tiffany's and stuff like that. So it's going to be quite interesting. Pretty happy.
That sounds awesome.
Bob, can you reel your boy in here, man? Like I'm getting.
Dude, okay, Mikael, we had this conversation before. Like, it's a Heritage Foundation thing, and I know Trump came out and said I don't support it, but the fact is, Heritage Foundation got like 3/5 of everything they wanted from Trump. It's not about what Trump, supports, because Trump is like an empty vessel.
Do we even understand what a hoax is? Do we even understand what that is? You could say you don't believe that Project 2025 is what people are saying it is, but to say that it's a hoax, I mean, that's a denial of reality. You're denying reality. Like the Conservative Party has actually talked about it. People on the right have made posts about it. Like, what the fuck? Are you saying they're liars? Are you saying the people that you support would be lying about it? Because if you admit they'd lie about that, then what else would they lie about? You know what I mean?
Just
this is why I've
intimidation.
gotten away from arguments with these people.
Do you have any evidence of that, man?
idiots.
Like, I'm getting ready to just fucking start kicking fools out that just make claims with no fucking evidence. They're just making wild ass claims. I don't want the fucking chat to become that shit. I'm sorry. I don't care who fucking gets offended. I don't care if you think you fucking are entitled to be here in the stream chat or whatever. Fucking be smarter, say smarter things, say things that are backed up by fucking facts and evidence.
They talk about being real. Like this has just been all brought up right.
This is the Joe Rogification of the
it's
internet,
real.
is what it is.
It really is. It's like, well, this is not the fucking Joe Rogan experience. Go over there if you want to say some dumb shit and have everybody go, yeah, that sounds right. Sorry, that's fucking
They
great.
have-
That's what I just did. My bad.
You go to the Heritage Foundation website. They have the 1,000-page document on the whole fucking thing. It exists. I looked over it. I haven't gone through the whole thing because it's 1,000 fucking pages, but I've gone over it. It is terrifying. It like, why would you assume it's a hoax?
And if you guys read it and you believe that it is real and you don't think those things will affect you, that puts you in one of two positions. Either you are too privileged to be affected by any of that, or you're too stupid to think that that stuff will not be used against you. It's one of those two things.
Well, let me tell you about fucking Matt Dillahunty, man. God damn, that fucking upset me. Like,
Yeah, I was pretty upset about that too. Yeah,
I've been a fan of his for a long time. You know, just like I always respected him and felt like, you know, I'm pretty sure that he broke with the ACA a couple of years ago because of the fact that they were not as trans supportive as he wanted them to be. You know what I mean? And then here he is just fucking saying, like, straight up telling people, like, there's no evidence that that Project 2025 is looking to imprison or kill queer people or whatever. And it's like, I mean, no, they don't state that, but like, neither did the Nazis.
They're gonna make it illegal.
To put it in perspective for a lot of people, because I think a lot of people don't understand this, the reason why some of the references to like stricter policies for like sexual offenses is an issue for like when it comes to queer people is they are trying to change the criteria for what is considered illegal when it comes to queer people. So for example, being a drag queen could be classified as a sexual offense. And if they decide to do that, then any laws that include things like the death penalty for sexual offenses could be applied to people just doing drag.
Which, by the way, they want to start doing more death penalty too. That's part of it.
Yeah,
so, you know.
It's and you say, oh well, that's a slippery slope. Well, the issue is we've already seen it happen. In Florida, they said, oh, it's about the kids with all that don't say gay stuff. And I know people get triggered by that. I know that's the name, not the name of the bill, but that's what everybody calls it. That bill that got enacted in Florida that was just to protect children, all of a sudden it started creeping up the vine to like age groups to the point where it was almost 25 years old when they finally swooped in and was like, you can't do this, it's unconstitutional. But they want to make it so the people that decide whether something is constitutional or not makes all the decisions they want them to make.
Look,
we are not stupid or naive.
I don't think anybody has any fucking leg to stand on anymore whenever they try to say that, like, oh, you're just kind of over, you know, you're being dramatic or type, you know, hyperbole, slippery slope, any of that. Because, you know, how long did we say, you know, shit, I've been saying it since before he was elected, but definitely the day he was elected. I remember I posted a big fucking thing on Facebook about fascism and Trump, right? In 2016. And I had people in my fucking comments then being like, oh, you're just fucking, you know, it's over dramatic, it's fashion, not fashion, blah, blah, blah. You know, and I was like, no, just watch. He's going to fucking do this. He's going to try and, you know, gain more power for himself. You can just tell if you know what you're looking at. And then lo and behold, where are we at right now? We got a fucking Supreme Court that's just his, you know, they work for him. And they've worked for him very well recently, and put him in a position where he's not going to face any accountability for anything. If you don't actually think, you're either too fucking stupid or uninformed, unaware of what's going on to have an opinion that's worth considering, or you're lying. Period. That's it. If you think this is not something that,
It would be one thing if there wasn't any Project 2025 and then you had like the Democrats just saying, oh, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. That'd be one thing. Maybe you guys would have a case then. But the fact is the Democrats didn't even have to make up anything because the Heritage Foundation laid out a policy platform for the next Republican president. And it is this terrifying shit.
Yep. And, you know, speaking of Heritage Foundation, they got their boy in the vice president pick now.
Someone who's gone on record saying all kinds of awful shit about Trump, which I'm like,
yeah, I was gonna say, don't ask me what they have on him because this was him just not, you know, more recent. I mean, more, I guess 2016 to, I don't know when he stopped, but here's some stuff.
Evolution, and I know you've been asked about this before, about past comments that you've made about Donald Trump. You've said, I'm a never Trump guy, never liked him. Terrible candidate, idiot if you voted for him, might be America's Hitler, might be a cynical a-hole, cultural heroine,
JD Vance,
obnoxious and reprehensible. Those are things that...
Anyway, you know, of course he's not saying that stuff now.
No, because now he's on the gravy train. That's why a lot of the people do it. That's why Amber Rose is doing it. There is money. We keep saying this. There is money in oppression. There's money in all of this. Why do people do it? They do it for money and security. They don't want to be on the other end of that.
I mean, that is the issue. So, like, capitalism is kind of the root of all evil. Like, you guys understand that, right? Like, I remember a time where I could have just gone full blasting on Brie Larson, fucking probably took off my YouTube channel, but didn't because it was fucking stupid and cringe. Yeah, like, there's like in this country, it's almost like if you can make money off of it, then it's morally fine. That's almost the attitude, and it's gross.
Cool. So Biden has COVID. That's cool. I'm sure he'll be fine.
No, I mean he's a young man. He'll recover.
I mean,
but COVID's a hoax, though, guys. Right? I mean, that's
yeah.
So Biden has it now. It's real. Now it's real, and I'm sure there won't be any jokes about something happening to Biden from the conservative.
Right, none. And so whenever, by the way, whenever he fucking inevitably, you know, hopefully I'm not jinxing anything here, but whenever he inevitably fucking clears COVID in a couple of weeks or whatever, and he's fine, everything's fine. Like, is everybody gonna be like, well, I guess he's stronger, you know, made a sterner stuff than I would have thought. You know, he's 81 and he just did another bout with COVID, right? He's already done one that I think so. A couple of years
That's what we should do. We should cheer on people that have some sort of issue that happens to them and then they make it through. That's what we do with political figures, right? We don't no negative comments about them moving forward, right? Because I think Donald Trump Jr. said now that his father has gone through this, we can't talk about any of the negative stuff he's ever done in the past.
Yeah, that's that. You do see that clip from MSNBC as well?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
fucking crazy. There's just like the indignant fucking, you know, performative indignance that he gets. It's just like, dude, Don Jr. is. I'd like to see him get told a good talking to. All right, stop myself.
I guess we could talk about the millions who died from COVID, and a lot of that is because of Donald Trump's terrible leadership through it. And I will say he did get the vaccines through. To his credit, he did. But like he was discredited.
But his community won't even let him take credit for that. His community won't even let him take credit for that.
Like,
and well, that's the thing. Like, based on a thing Obama had already put into place, so it's like not even really.
True, but like, you know, I don't know. I will give Trump a little bit of credit for that, but like everything else, fuck. His management of that was terrible. Like he would do those speeches and like he was belittling it. He's like, oh, they recommend wearing a mask. Well, I'm not going to wear a mask. It's a pandemic, dude. Stand up. You're a leader.
Yes, you're almost there, man. You're so fucking close. Yes. The second part of that. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah,
because what it does is it restructures the entire fucking government, man. It's not like a normal policy or normal legislation that's being put through. It is a fucking top-down restructuring of the way the government operates, and instead of having three independent, you know, allegedly branches of government that, you know, kind of like keep each other in check. That's the way it's supposed to work. You've got just the executive branch, which really just it neutralizes the legislative branch almost completely. There's almost no point of
Yeah.
having a legislative branch. And then you've got the executive, which is the president, and the the courts, which are basically just a tool of the president at that point. And yes, that's dictatorship, man.
Yes, I'm sure. Like if it starts getting implemented, there will be fights over it. And what do you think is going to happen when those fights hit the Supreme Court?
Exactly. The Supreme Court's already signaled that it is completely, ready and willing to just do whatever Trump wants, or whatever the Republicans want. I imagine. I'm sure it's not just Trump, but and at that point, there's no recourse. There's no fucking recourse to it. Watch my video on it that went up this morning, actually.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Fantastic debunking. I actually watched it earlier. But yeah, Cavernacle's terrible take on it. Well, actually, he had a good take on it, but like his both-siderism is fucking gross. Yeah.
Cope, man, cope and fucking seethe right here. Like you're just saying, no, it's not like you do have anything to counter all of the evidence that suggests that is exactly what would happen. And we're not talking about the Heritage Foundation getting power. Can you please, pay attention to what's being said? I don't know if it's possible for you. Did you switch accounts, by the way? What the fuck?
Yeah, I think
God
so. But
damn.
Yeah, the
Get your
Heritage
boy, Bob.
Foundation. Yeah, the fair, like Mikael, like I don't want to get stuck on this. So I'll, if we continue, I might give you a timeout. But the Heritage Foundation has bragged about how many policies they were able to get through the last Trump administration. That's a point of pride with them, which is why they wrote this. They wrote this with the goal of being like, this is what we're going to do if he gets reelected. They're bragging.
Yep.
I just
and they've been
know how you
by
can
the way,
take it lightly.
Heritage Foundation, they're not new. A lot of the shittiest things about the way the country is now were put into motion under the Reagan administration. And guess who his administration adopted a lot of their policies from? You fucking guessed it, Heritage Foundation.
Cody Johnson, some more news. Just did a fantastic piece on how Reagan pretty much fucked this country back in the 80s. Highly recommend diving into it.
A lot of ways. Anyway, well, let's do something different now. Let's talk about something else. I don't know. It's like my mind's kind of been preoccupied. Like, oh, this is what we can talk about. Look at this. This is some good news. Shelby Oaks. This is by Neon. A new horror from director Chris Stuckman and executive producer Mike fucking Flanagan. Are you kidding me?
He's been working on this for a minute, though, right? Isn't this
Yeah. But I mean, like, I didn't know Flanagan was producing it. That's amazing.
Good for him.
Flanagan's the shit. He's like the name in horror right now.
Yeah.
And to have him
he's
on board,
earned
like, yeah, so like I said, I'm just waiting on Mahler's announcement on his fucking movie. When's that happen? Right.
I can guarantee you this: Chris Stuckman's movie, regardless of whether or not it's like a massive success or whatever, is going to be a million times better than anything that community will ever make.
Yeah,
I can almost guarantee that. I'd put money on it.
I mean, I guess we could have fun and do Shelby Oaks versus whatever Epicverse produces.
They're never going to produce anything. They haven't released anything.
True.
Apparently not, man. Like
maybe Critical Drinker will get his thing out. Maybe.
I have not. I actually fell asleep watching the finale of Acolyte. Nothing against the episode. I was just tired as shit.
I haven't gotten around to it yet.
I just got, when I got home from work, I just did my review just now. It's actually, I'm working on the thumbnail, which is what I'm doing right now while we're sitting here.
What'd you think?
I thought it was good, but I don't think it was the best episode of the season. And I think there was a lot of unanswered questions that didn't feel satisfying as a viewer. But there was some stuff in there about like why the council doesn't know about everything, which I thought was really smart the way they did that. And it's the reason why when you review television, you don't start getting upset about unanswered questions until the season is done.
I mean, I know when I cover it, lots of times I'll be like, okay, there's a caveat here. I feel like there's an unanswered thing, but let's see if they resolve it towards the end.
Yeah, I'm the same way. That's how I do it. But a lot of the channels that do what they do, you guys know who they are. They don't wait for a story to play out. They want answers right away. And yeah, that's kind of how it goes for them. you know, some people are going to be satisfied, some aren't. There's a couple of big cameos at the end of it, but I won't spoil any of that. So,
I shall be right back.
Do they break the canon of Topps cards more?
I don't know. I will say that that they are definitely setting up a second season. Now, whether we get one or not, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure about that because it's tough to gauge. Like, God, they're notoriously cagey with streaming numbers. So we don't know actual figures. From the Chud reaction, I would guess they're getting plenty of numbers.
Yeah.
But yeah. See. I know I'm planning on doing my next essay on the accolade, but yeah. It is. I mean, I have not seen episode 8 yet, but like so far, like I think it's like the last 3 episodes I thought were solid, pretty much.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I like I said in my review, which will be live here in a moment. I want to be entertained. That's my ultimate goal when I watch these types of shows.
Yeah,
and as long as you entertain me, you know, I don't get too pedantic about stuff. If I'm bored, I'm going to notice a lot of stuff that's wrong with something. So if I'm sitting there and I'm bored, I'm going to start thinking about the show. So if I'm entertained, then for me, that's really, really just the primary thing.
I mean that's it for everybody. It's almost like it's subjective for people too.
Yeah, almost.
But
I'm doing the 2 thumbnail test thing or 3 thumbnail test thing for YouTube.
Yeah, no, I've been doing that on all my videos. And yeah, I will get commenting on it. And it's like, oh, I know what thumbnail you saw.
Wait, so this person says here, I was in SHILL Clips when I said this, but I'm not American, and yet if Trump wins the election, I will do something. I'll end up. Oh, don't say that, please.
I mean, don't do anything illegal,
guys.
Yeah.
Then preferably not anything immoral.
We are not remotely at the point where anything drastic needs to happen. What needs to happen, if anything, the most drastic thing that needs to happen is that people need to overwhelm those polls.
Yeah.
Go out and
so
vote.
Here's something. If you're concerned about it, here's something you can do today. Check to see what the registration situation is. If you haven't already if you're not sure you're registered, check and see what you got to do to register to vote. That you can do that today, and then you can just be, all right, got that done. And maybe tomorrow, you know, you start looking into, you know, talking to other people about it, stuff like that. And no, electoralism is not the answer to problems. It is a stopgap. It is to maintain the unideal, often crappy circumstances we have today, right now, so that they don't actually get so much worse that we can't even, you know, that we have no power whatsoever. But yeah, right. It starts with just making sure that we don't lose everything.
And your local elections are really important too. Like, make sure you're voting locally because that impacts your day-to-day life a lot more than the federal elections typically.
I mean, if you think there are too many Republicans federally, like locally, statewide, Republicans dominate those positions. It's important to go out for every election. There's an election every year, guys. Every year there's an election. Might just be an issue or two. Might actually be representatives. Go out and vote every year.
You guys remember Jenna Ellis?
Sounds familiar.
Doesn't ring a bell.
She was one of Trump's attorneys, and like, you know, for the old the rigged election bullshit. But you know, she was hardcore in his camp. You know, saying that the election was rigged and stuff. And here's her the other day.
Than what I know now, I would have declined to represent Donald Trump in these post-election challenges. I look back on this whole experience with deep remorse. I have taken responsibility already before the Colorado bar who censured me, and I now take responsibility before this court and apologize to the people of Georgia.
Yikes.
What the hell happened?
Just, I guess, everything that's gone down with him, I'm assuming, like all the stuff that's been said.
Wow.
Well, I mean, yeah, everybody, essentially Rudy, that other lady, and then this one, they all lost their license to practice law because they continuously brought like something like 64 claims they tried to make, and every single one of them was without merit.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like you can't do that and expect to be taken seriously.
So
and
I want to point this out. They don't have a lot of power over things that we do day to day, but this is something that they do have power over. Don't keep saying this, and I wish other outlets would stop saying this.
Yeah.
This
No, this is
the
frustrating.
reaction
Yeah.
that they want. This is the reaction they want. They want people to assume that he's already won. They want people to not want to go out and vote. They want people to just concede that he's going to win. And if you are someone who feels hopeless, you need to start looking at other news sources and other places that aren't feeding into this. This is a bad place to be, Byron. I would suggest to really like my partner also, we've talked about this in detail, and there's a lot of like people in our family that sort of have these types of feelings. We have a long way to go before the election. Let's not start feeding into this now.
I want to point something out
for your own health. So yeah, go ahead.
I want to point something out. So there was a pew pew attempt at former President Trump on Saturday, right? Everybody knows about that.
Yes.
Do you know where that took place? A fucking shitty little Pennsylvania fucking fairgrounds, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that is not the, that's that they definitely don't want people to be thinking about that part of it, because that's generally the kind of places he's been doing these things. And it wasn't even like super filled up. It wasn't just at max capacity. Now, if you go back to 2015, that dude was packing some fucking venues. Okay?
Yes.
It was insane. That's how it was. Like there was this this before we even realized what was going on, that like, oh, this dude actually could win. It was still just like, wow, there sure are a lot of people that are going to these things, but he can't win. It's not that right now. Now, it's not to say that Biden's packing them either, but the energy that would compel Trump to win, it just doesn't seem to necessarily be there. It's not to say it's not, that there aren't people that are just not going to rallies or whatever, but you got to think about the fact that he has damaged the base electorate, the voting public, because that's what happens when you do the rigged election shit. You start saying elections are rigged and it's fucking blah blah, Biden's not the real president and all this stuff. It might have the effect of like some people get radicalized. It's definitely had that effect, and they're like, oh, we gotta storm the fucking Capitol or whatever. But then at the same time, there's going to be some percentage of those people that are just like disillusioned. There were so many people that voted for Trump in 2016 that either hadn't voted before, hadn't cared about voting before, or hadn't voted in a long time. But Trump energized them, right? He got them involved. Now, imagine those people then suddenly 2020, they do it again, and he fucking lost. It's definitely going to demoralize a lot of people. They're just not even they're checked out. So they want you to believe that there's just the exact same number of people and more that there were 4 years ago and 8 years ago. It's not that. That's not.
It's not.
The problem is that they've also been doing. They've been doing their own rigging, so to speak. They've been, gerrymandering districts. They constantly are doing that shit. Republicans, and then they're different ID laws in various places that are, oh look, just so happens to be a African American majority area, and now they're enacting these new laws that make it harder to vote, that kind of shit. So those are the things that we're really up against, not the actual number of voters. I'm sorry,
in other words, they're going to have to work harder to make it harder for other people to vote. That's what they're going to have to do. That's the main goal for them.
And one of the ways that they can definitely win, along with the gerrymandering and all the voter ID laws and all that, is by convincing people like Byron that there's just no point in even trying. Not to call you out, Byron, you're a good dude, I know that, but like, just kind of keep that in check. That fear.
Well, that's what I was saying. Yeah, don't let them get to you like that. That's literally what they want.
I've seen lots of people doing the doomerism posting, and it's been pissing me off. For no other reason, we got quite a few months till November. A lot can change, but the fact is, no big victory has ever been won by saying, "Oh, it's too tough, guys. We lost. Better give up. It's too hard."
It's also kind of weird to see the other media outlets sort of cash in on this.
Like, what are you even talking about? Like, what is the stuff that's being made about Biden is like not. I honestly don't think that if you're somebody who cares about the future of the country and you understand the things that are at stake, you didn't watch that debate with Biden and then go, "Oh, I can't vote for him now." You didn't do that. You might have been like, "Oh shit, maybe he needs to get to bed earlier or something like that." But like, he's 81 years old. you know, he's not any cognitively more sound than Trump. I fucking promise you that.
No,
Trump is just
Trump's
really
just
good
made
at
it part of his personality.
Yep, he just says random shit. He bounces around like a fucking, you know, speed addict on various topics and doesn't complete sentences, and he's just pure id. Like, you know, so Biden sometimes forgets the stuff that he memorized about how good a job he's done on the economy. That's Biden's big fucking failing when you put it in perspective, right?
Well, here's the other thing: is there's a deadline, not only federally but in states, on when somebody can actually run as officially as a president. Now, you can write in votes and everything, but you're not going to get in on the actual debates or anything like that, which is essentially why we end up being a two-party country anyway, because that's kind of how they do that. If Biden were to drop out, states would not allow another Democratic person to campaign against Trump because it would be too late to do that. And if they did, there would be lawsuits in place for that. So essentially, we're in a situation where those are the only two options for us right now. They're the only two.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool, man. That's a really interesting take, and that actually makes you really cool sounding and like interesting. I really respect that.
You know, it's like I will say, Robotters, I see where you're coming from, but like it's not the time. It's not the time. There's only one party.
Man,
that is
I wish I had the
complete,
luxury of just
dictatorship.
doing that. Like, I wish that I weren't
Yeah.
a marginalized person, that my entire existence relies on me making sure that a certain
Imagine
person doesn't
going
get
to a
office.
fucking a stream where there's like, you know, a few people who would definitely, you know, to varying degrees be affected by a Trump administration in a very negative way. Probably, you know, I mean, I'm already thinking about how am I going to pivot my content to something else, you know, and stuff like that. And then, you know, of course, DJs possibly got it much more worse. And like, and then just saying, both parties are bad. I hate them both. Yeah, it's kind of silly. I don't believe that people that say that at this juncture anyway. It is possible to think that. I mean, look, I hate both parties too. None of us here are fucking like Democrats. Woohoo! You know, that's not what we're doing.
Yeah.
But
in fact, I'll go ahead and let you guys know how we fix the parties right now, because the Democrats do suck. I will give you that. How you fix them is you give the Republicans a sound, complete fucking defeat. You make that party pretty much neutralized, so they have to become something else, something to the left of Democrats, who are pretty far right. Let's be honest. That's how we push the country forward.
I looked into this, and according to what I found federally, in order to participate in any of the actual debates, you had to have all of your ducks in a row by October of last year. Otherwise, you cannot do it. You have to be officially in the game as of October of last year. Now, I don't know how that would apply to something like the Democratic Party being the second, the one of the two major parties in this country, if that would matter. But yeah, a lot of the primaries that you would have to go through to get into that position, everything has to be done by October. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe certain states are different. I don't know. But when I looked it up, which was one of the things that I looked up when people were saying that the Democrats would get sued for trying to put another person into the race, that was what they kept saying, was that some states adhere to that October date deadline for that. So
yeah, I mean,
I could be wrong. Could be wrong.
I'm of the opinion that I don't think that a lot of the people that are, if you're saying that right now, like, oh, both the parties are bad or whatever, then you're just somebody that's like not really politically engaged, and you're just kind of like saying that because you see everyone else is talking about politics. So you're like, I got an opinion too. It's a safe opinion in a weird way. You know, it's kind of a cop out for sure. But yeah. Can I ask you guys? Do you guys know
time?
Go ahead, Bob. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say there's a time and a place to properly criticize the Democrats and try to get a shift. And it's called the fucking primaries, not the general.
Yep. You guys know what accelerationism is?
Yes.
Are you asking us or the chat?
everybody, I guess. You know, I'm not aware of how aware people are of this concept.
Yeah.
I've been really looking into this lately, and I kind of feel like it's a part of anti-fandom, right? Like, I mean, accelerationism is based on, and you know, okay, so there's the original version of it, which is a leftist thing, which is not something that you do on purpose to try to achieve a goal. It's just something based on, you know, kind of like a Marxist theory that suggests that this is just how things go, that like, capitalism and industry, they you know, the exponential rate with which things are progressing will eventually lead to some kind of cultural or industrial economic crash or whatever the fuck. Okay. Not something that you try to do, just an effect that happens. But then the right has more recently turned that into something that, you know, is generally now it's known as a right-wing thing. Though there are leftists that think this way too, where like the point of it is specifically in cultural contexts to push the culture to a point where just like everything is in upheaval and culture just kind of like collapses and everything, you know, I don't know, you know, it becomes a little bit nebulous for me to at that point where I'm like, I don't know what that looks like. I don't know how a culture would collapse and what effect would that have. I don't really know. But, you know, it is a thing that many like the guy that killed 51 people in Christchurch, he definitely believed in accelerationism, and that was what he was trying to do. In fact, Charlie Manson, the Manson family,
Marilyn Manson,
the Manson family, his whole thing was accelerationism. He was trying to accelerate what he believed to be like an inevitable race war, where the black people would like destroy a bunch of white people, kill a bunch of white people, and then like then the true strong white people would rule over those black. So it's fucking insane. The guy was a crazy person, and racist. But like, yeah, so that's acceleration shit, and I kind of feel like that a lot of these chuds are kind of pushing that too, in a way. Does that make sense? Like, because I mean, what do they really want? You know what I mean? They don't. It's like we've talked about before how they can't want media to not be woke truly, because they would lose their fucking livelihood, right?
Right.
But they also presumably don't really want woke media. I don't know, you know. It just, and then at the heart of accelerationism, right-wing accelerationism, is the Great Replacement theory, which everybody should be aware, and you can look at the content that these guys make. Oh, they're replacing, you know, these characters with woke characters. They're, you know, forcing diversity. It's just, you know, Great Replacement, white replacement theory in context of fan content, right? And I don't know. I just, something I've been reading about and thinking about, and I just figured I'd throw it out there. Because I'm just trying to make sense of it, you know? Did I kill the stream? Did I kill it?
No.
So actually, I just wanted to bring this up to the doomsayers. So I mean, we can criticize Nate Silver because he's got some cringe takes, but he's pretty solid with numbers. He was one of the few that actually gave Trump a chance to win in 2016. Here's his current polling predictions for the presidential election. And the whole point of showing this is to say it's not fucking hopeless, guys. We just got to turn out.
Yeah, I mean, when also the methodology for polling really matters a lot more and more as time goes on now, because, you know, for the longest time polling was just done via telephone, and you could pretty much reach anybody through the phone. But you got to think who all has a landline anymore, which is how a lot of these are done still. Your grandparents, you know, like grandparents have a landline, and you know, that might be weighing things a little bit in favor of yeah, I mean, I read something a while back that was a kind of an expose, not really that, like, it's not like a corrupt thing or anything, but like apparently there's just a big flaw in most of the methodology of polling these days that tends to favor the right. I don't know, just another thing to consider.
Yes. But yeah, I think it's important to establish it's not fucking hopeless. Don't give in doomerism, because the whole point of doomerism is to get you to not vote. The whole point is to get you to resign. And guess what? Even if Trump wins, there's still a fight ahead. But the key at this point is to make sure Trump doesn't win. Because even if Biden wins, there's a fight ahead. Biden is not as good on a lot of positions as I would like. It's one step at a time, guys.
whenever we talk about polls at the same time, not to undermine anything like the hope thing, but like just really, yes, you should just have equal measures, hope and concern. I think is the most reasonable position to have right now, because the fact is there's no way to know right now what's going to end up happening. So many things can change and probably will. Just in the last week, we've had one candidate got his ear grazed by some glass, and another one now has COVID. I said like last week or whatever that by the time that we could be a year from now and like we have a 3-legged dog for president because just shit got so crazy. Yeah, the Baron Imperium is a real thing though. That's worth considering.
God damn you, Baron. Oh, and you guys might be shocked to hear, but Candy does not have a shot. So quit acting like he has a shot.
Yeah, that's a wasted. I hate to say this, but there are wasted votes. That's a wasted vote. If you vote for him, that's a wasted vote.
Well, I mean, I don't think we choose a party necessarily. I mean, I know I don't want to speak for you guys, but I don't choose a party. Razor Fisting. Cool name, I guess. But like, yeah, we're not just like, no, Democrats, rah rah.
I always vote like socially and culturally because I can't enjoy any of the other stuff that they're platforming if I can't enjoy my life. So for me, I always vote for the party that would affect my life more than anything else, because military spending, all that other bullshit, at the end of the day, that doesn't really matter ultimately for everyday people. You're more affected by the way politicians position themselves socially and culturally.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, if you're concerned about cultural or social votes, then I mean, Biden's your pick. If you're concerned about proper use of military funds, Biden's your vote. Like, there's not an issue where Biden's worse than Trump. That's the thing.
Yeah, but for me, that's just how I always look at it. So, and even with like local elections,
Well, but sometimes sometimes whenever he's talking, he kind of looks a little lost for a second. That's a big deal.
Oh shit.
We have to remember that the president isn't the only person involved in making decisions. He has an entire team that works with him. So
true.
Yeah.
The president's job is
that's
to go
what I
up
said in my video today.
Are we on the same wavelength?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they were already in bed together.
Yeah,
but like
the chat's
they definitely seem to be kind of coordinating now. If you heard that phone call. Yeah, I know. I know what it's about.
Are you sure you know what it's about?
Man, what's going on?
What's happening? Is something? Are you lagging or something?
Yeah, a lot of people can't handle this fact, Bob. I guess
that is true. I mean, I'll be frank,
like
and I don't know if this is really a compliment to Biden or an insult to just every other president we've had, but Biden is the best president of my lifetime. I say that as not a particularly big fan.
He hasn't gotten any blowjobs by presumably, probably none, honestly, but like, he hasn't invaded any countries. No, I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean, people will shit on him for Afghanistan. I praise him for Afghanistan because that was a no-win scenario.
This is really interesting. So apparently, because Biden does have COVID, Kamala is going to be taking over some of the campaign stuff on trail. I can tell you right now, the last thing any of those Republican idiots want to do is debate with her. That's the last thing they want to do. So I'm curious to see how that's going to play out.
I agree. However, she does kind of have a bit of a Hillary problem, where there's there's some very valid things to criticize Kamala about.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think when it comes to actual,
there is a bunch of just irate hatred over her, whatever. Like,
and I cannot stress this enough: the country would be in.
She's definitely better on pretty much everything.
2016.
Wait, there's a rap video from the Republican National.
Yeah, Convention? I mean,
oh god,
I didn't see that till now.
It can't be any worse than the one with what's his name, Tom McDonald and Ben Shapiro.
This has got Amber Rose in it,
right? Oh god.
You never know how crappy they can get. I mean,
You know what?
Kid
I
Rock
want to
has
look
a
at some of
career
the
for some reason.
Did you see his video the other day? It was so fucking cringe. Where he's like, "You mess with Trump, you mess with me."
Oh god.
It's so bad.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so she's a former girlfriend of Kanye West. I didn't realize that.
Amber Rose.
Kanye met her
Yeah.
when she was a stripper and video model. Yeah.
Apparently, they're using Amber. Like a lot of people
Okay.
are saying, Amber Rose is them trying to court black voting because she was a solid foot in the black community.
Mm-hmm. I hadn't heard of her in years. Like I would have probably forgotten about her, to be honest. But trying to find there's some good posts in here in the Discord server.
Well, while you're doing that, I have to jump out of here because I have to work.
Yeah.
Tonight,
oh yeah.
So I'm
So
gonna head out.
Okay.
Talking about this whole
in.
going back to the.
So
Okay.
I appreciate you guys, and I'll see everyone
Yeah, man.
later on.
Glad to have you. Hope you're doing all right.
Take care.
Later. So fucking okay, here we go. So there are some posts that went around from various figures of the right after or during the whole RNC. Is everybody hearing me okay? Because I feel like I was getting lag from you guys. Are you getting lag from me? What's going on?
I was wondering if there was lag. There seemed to be a distance, and I don't know if it's my end or your end. But
I think it might be mine because it's also happening on Discord. So let me go ahead and close Discord, I guess, and try and reduce my stuff.
It's actually why I turned off my camera.
Oh, it's probably you then. You're right. Okay. So just a few images here that I wanted to showcase because this is who these people are. And this is also, when you talk about hope for November and like keeping things in context with like a lot of the people that have put Trump in the position that he was in the first place are not happy with Trump right now, as evidenced by the guy who tried to pew him the other day. Who, we don't know for sure yet, but it does seem like he might have been maybe a groiper. And they are not happy with, like, in the last week before that happened, Trump had pissed off the groipers because he, what was it that he did? He's done a couple of things that was pissing some people off that were normal supporters of his. Quit Discord now. I mean, I listened to that first one, man. That was pretty crazy. He talked about how he hung out with Eminem, Mac Lethal did, and Eminem was like talking about how he'd gotten Tom McDonald's music that he'd sent him or whatever, and then Eminem would just laugh at him, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
A groiper doesn't mean anything. It's just a term for if you know who Nick Fuentes is, I'm sorry, but he has a little following antisocial dipshits that are essentially functionally they are Nazis. They believe in Nazi shit. And a groiper is just what they call themselves. So yep. These are kind of grouperish takes takes here, I believe. Oh, not that. These are pretty tame. They get a little bit less tame. Okay.
Wow.
This is surprising because David Icke normally kind of keeps the shit limited to the lizard people, but he seems to just be confirming what everybody already knew about what he really thinks. Yeah, yeah.
Jeez.
What is this? It's just JD Vance talking to oh. Yeah. So if you want to talk about factors that could, limit turnout in November, this could be, one of them, depending on how many of these people were planning on voting anyway. Yeah. Oh wait, one more.
Jesus.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Fuentes. You go back to beating off to catboy porn, I guess. No, gropers are not in the MAGA cult. They're in the groper cult. Which is there's a distinction there, oddly. Anyways. Yeah, the thing is that what we're seeing right now is the conservatives of the GOP is doing a scattershot fire hose approach to campaigning, where they're literally just like, yeah, grab the sex worker with the tattoo on her face, put her on stage, but also the Orthodox Jews, yeah, grab those guys too, and they aren't really, because none of these people are gonna, in the event that they win and Project 2025 is implemented, these people are not going to generally benefit from that. I think there's some that think they are. They're probably not being honest with themselves, but anyway.
Well,
what else we got,
think
guys?
most moderate
what are we doing?
Republicans.
Come on, chat. Tell us what.
There's not much in the way of moderate Republicans anymore. Most of them don't even support the Republican Party anymore. But there's not a whole lot. Most of them went with Trump.
Do you think I should show them the thing that I showed you, the video that I found? Show them just the first couple of minutes with you. Should I show them that to give them an idea that this is the thing that exists, or should we just not risk that?
I don't remember what it is, but I'm not against it. I'm sorry, my internet I think is getting choppy, so I might be a little.
You don't remember the video I found on Twitter that has a solution for all the world's problems?
I probably will when it starts playing. It's not clicking though. Oh shit! Oh god, okay. I know what you're talking about.
I mean, the reason I ask is because it could
shit.
possibly be something that gets our streams.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know. It could be fun to clown on it.
You know what? Okay. I mean, I'll keep the volume off so that way it's just the text on screen. Guys, I found this video on Twitter the other day. This is a half-hour documentary, so-called documentary that's just posted to Twitter. And it's not by some nobody account. It's not a huge account, but there's a few thousand people following it. There were a couple of thousand shares. and yeah, it's just like you'll see. You'll see.
Recently been warning that civilizational collapse, and he's right. So
wait, I thought I had one with my bad. I got another version that does have music and then also has captions, I believe. Yeah. So this one.
Birth rates could cause civilizational collapse. And he's right. So what is causing low birth rates? We need to get serious and stop relying on abstractions, and we need to look at the precise details.
So I muted it because it's kind of lagging anyway. I don't know how bad that is for you guys, but you know, talking about low birth rates and that this manipulation of societal values and attitudes, as well as, you know, brought about by conditions that, you know, so when we stop invoking some ethereal, invisible force like modernization and start responsibly analyze root causes, we see this process is directed and perpetuated by specific individuals who occupy the main nodes of power and influence in the West. Does anybody see where this is going yet? Deliberate promotion of abortion, feminism, contraceptives, homosexuality, and other non-traditional pairings. Entail the impossibility of the mass media dissemination of pornography, hedonism, materialism, individualism, and other destructive anti-family. The you see, here it goes. You're gonna get it. It's gonna happen. We need to avoid vague conspiracy theories, okay? Let's be specific here. Gotta be specific. In every single case. Boom! Like a turd in the punch bowl.
Just
Jesus
like, whoa.
Christ, man.
This documentary was funded by Kanye West.
Are you saying this? Is this what you believe? By the way, this is the third account you've gone under on this stream.
Yeah, and I haven't.
Yeah, this is Nazi bullshit,
so
man.
sure.
This is straight up fucking. Okay, you said it's not what you believe. That's good. Thank you for clarifying.
I mean, the warning signs were all there because it seemed
like I
really
said, this was
concerned
a
about the
30-minute
white
documentary.
birth
It's
rate.
on right. And then, a Jew worked for the Population Institute. And now keep in mind, like, this kind of documentary, quote unquote documentary, is very well put together. Not to say that it is rooted in fact at all. Like, the reason it's well put together is because somebody had to work pretty hard to twist these, you know, it's probably some facts in there, you know what I mean? To twist them to be what they want them to be. And the effort that goes into this kind of shit it's disgusting, obviously, but you know, they know they're lying. They know they're fucking lying, I think. By and large. They may, yeah. Look, they're just going to point out all the names of Jewish people who happen to be, you know, work in positions of influence or whatever, and then say that that's just proof of something, you know. But in other cases, by the way, I've seen like charts where they're like, look at all the Jewish people, and it's like somebody has like a Jewish, relative or something like that, and they're not even Jewish themselves. It's like, okay, man, you're bit of a stretch. Anyways,
No, I'm still here. I'm just concerned about my lag at this point.
I think I'm lagging. Yeah, I think I'm lagging as well. We could probably go ahead and end the stream since we don't have a lot left anyway, or anything really to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of an impromptu last minute stream anyway, so and it was good. I think we covered some good stuff. Guys.
Yeah, well, this is
like
not an
and
official
subscribe.
return, by the way. Indeed. And Bob, what kind of videos you got up right now?
Well, my God, it took me a while to put this together. My Doctor Who, Why Toxic Fandom Suck Doctor Who is officially out. I'm having it's building like the X-Men video where it seems like it's going to be a slow burn. It's getting a high watch time, even though the views aren't as high as I'd like. I'm thinking it'll probably make it up, and I'm kind of okay with it lagging right now because I am dealing with a copyright claim on it, which is really frustrating. But yeah, I'm proud of that one. I highly recommend checking it out. And then I will be streaming tomorrow. Where apparently I'm covering a Doctor Who comic book and not Isom 2, which I guess I'm thankful for.
Yeah, that was pretty cool to see that people voted for not Isom, you know?
Yeah, I kind of assumed just Isom would people would be like, oh yeah, troll on this. No,
But,
and it's not even close, guys. It's Doctor Who's got
people
51% of the vote. The cultural impact of Eric July
Look, I
is
mean, how long have
already
we been
gone.
clowning on Isom? It's not like it's there's not a lot of substance to make fun of. We've already milked it, you know, milked it dry.
True. And honestly, the fact that I was able to get those comic books for so fucking cheap.
I've got
tells us
a couple new
lot.
videos. Oh, Bob, by the way, we need to set up we could have done that today if I would have thought about it. The review our debate with Adam and Sitch, with Madam and Bitch.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
I've had people after that, so. But yeah, on my channel, got a couple of videos up this week already. Been doing pretty good, getting a lot of content out. Check it out. Got really the first video I think I've done where I just specifically kind of criticize a lefty, supposedly. You know, talking about Cavernacle. I know a lot of you watch him. I see that in my studio, my statistics and my analytics. I mean, that there are plenty of you that seem to watch him around watching us. So that's cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't like as far as YouTubers go. I don't think he's the worst. By a
Oh, no,
mile,
nobody's going
but
to debate Hypnotic, man. I mean, yes, I wouldn't cover. He's had a lot of bad takes before Cavernacle. It's just that this is the one that really matters a lot, I think. And it's just bizarre to me that he would be so accurate with describing Project 2025 only to immediately turn on a dime and just like undermine it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'll be streaming Friday. Look for that. It'll be fun, maybe, hopefully.
Fun stream? No, I don't endorse that.
I have, yeah. I mean, I might try and reaching out to him. I feel like I could maybe, I don't know, get him to come on the show or something. Jimmy Snow's pretty cool. I like him generally. Nonetheless, thanks, guys. Look for, I don't know, content from all these fools, and look at the content down in the description. There's lots of channels that are listed there. If you haven't checked them out, peruse those fools. I don't know why I'm calling them fools. I'm the fool. Okay.
We're all fools in our own way.
And well, yeah, with that in mind, it's true. It's true. With that in mind, here, check this shit out. Okay.
The work of making this world resemble one that you would prefer to live in is a lunch pail job, day in and day out, where thousands of committed, anonymous, smart, and dedicated people bang on closed doors and pick up those that are fallen and grind away on issues till they get a positive result, and even then have to stay on to make sure that result holds. So the good news is I'm not saying you don't have to worry about who wins the election. I'm saying you have to worry about every day before it and every day after. Forever.
No complaints.
Subscribe to me. Oh, Dane, take my hand. I will lead you to salvation.
Greetings, my friends. Thank you for watching this video. And if you would be so kind, please subscribe if you like what you see. Help our channel to keep growing and keep fighting the war to save pop culture.